Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Bandai Tamashii Nations S.H.Figuarts unboxing and review video. Now today we are going to be taking a look at none other than Hawkeye, based off his appearance in Avengers 2012. Now, I've been slowly building out my smaller scale Avengers collection, so when I saw this guy, yeah, I absolutely had to pick him up. If you'd like to get your own, I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is down in the description below. They have 12-month installment plans and an awesome reward system. What we are going to do now, though, is get the box laying flat in the light box and do the unboxing. Here, of course, we have the box art, and just like the rest of the line, we've got an open window showcasing Hawkeye himself, some artwork of him down below, plus a massive Avengers A. We do have an image of the figure on the side, and a bunch more in various poses on the back. Now, I wasn't really all that excited to get this Hawkeye until the Disney Plus show started dropping, and then my excitement level went from rock bottom all the way up to the highest of heights. Now, I don't know if that's the same thing that can be said for everyone, but yeah, I'm super keen to see how this figure stacks up. First in-hand impressions are fairly positive. What we are going to do now, though, is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Here we have all the parts and pieces. Now, starting off with the head sculpts first, the reason I'm giggling is because this one on the right looks super goofy. I don't really like the way it looks, I don't see the likeness, and the expression just isn't quite right. At the very least, the hair is consistent across all three. Now, the ones that I prefer are these two. This one is actually my favorite of the bunch. I see the likeness, I like the furrowed brow, and the paint applications are on point. Now, it's not perfect, but look at the size of it. It's literally smaller than my thumb, so I think they've done a commendable job. As for the one with the sunglasses on, they're not actually separate sunglasses, they're fully sculpted on there, which means they look rather thick and chunky, especially down the bottom. They look a little bit too large. Now, you do get the quiver with some arrows up the top, and yes, they are removable if you want to make it look like he's run out of arrows. I also like the silver paint and the unique sculpts to the various trick arrowheads down below. You also get two different versions of his bow. One without any arrow whatsoever, and the string is one solid piece of plastic. The rest of it is completely unpainted. You also get this version, where it looks like he's pulled an arrow back. I actually really like this. You don't have to mess around with the string or trying to get the arrow to sit in place. It's going to look perfect every single time. You also get an arrow that can peg into his hand, and yeah, I love the way this looks as well. It's super simple. These are two separate pieces, top and bottom, and you literally peg it in there. You have some silver up the top for the arrowhead. Lastly, you have an asymmetrical design for the hands. This one has the apparatus on the back so he can pull his arrows back and not damage his fingers, I would imagine, and then the other side is just a bare hand. What we are going to do now, though, is get Hawkeye himself out here and take a closer look. Here we have him standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. And this might just be one of my favorite Marvel Figuarts of this year. It isn't perfect, don't get me wrong, but all of the stuff that I've been complaining about on the previous ones we've reviewed on the channel, they've kind of corrected those things. There is a ton more texture on the outfit. The paint applications are crisp and clean, and they've used that awesome semi-translucent plastic for the arms. Because if they'd painted it with that chalky effect paint they kind of sometimes use on skin, it would have looked horrible, so I'm super glad they didn't. What we are going to do now, though, is take him off the rotating turntable, punch in, and take a closer look at the details. Here we have him up close and personal. And in just a second, we will swap out the head sculpt to see what the one without the sunglasses on looks like on the body, because you'll already know my thoughts on this one. Yeah, I don't love it. Now, he does have his quiver pegged into the back. It's literally super simple to do, it just pegs in place. If you don't get too crazy with your posing, it should stay put. Now, I do want to address the upper torso. There is surprisingly a ton of sculpted in texture. Usually Figuarts don't do this. They're always smooth and pristine, even when there's supposed to be texture, but they've done it here for Clint, and I'm super glad to see it. I also love the very crisp paint applications on the purple and the silver zipper, and yeah, there's just overall a lot to look at. Then, for the arms, we've got an asymmetrical design. There's this piece here, which I'm not exactly sure what it's meant to do. Maybe it's meant to protect his forearm from the string of his bow, and then on the other side we do have a little bit more detail that is different from the other arm. Now, you do have a ton of sculpted in musculature. There's even an indication of some vein work there, but then when we get down to the forearms, they're just a little bit smooth. I do, though, love the material they're sculpted out of. It has that kind of semi-translucent skin-like look about it, so I'm glad they made it out of that. Now, the pants are also an asymmetrical design. There's one buckle on this side, whereas there's two on the other, and this is kind of true to form for Figuarts. Not a ton of surface detail, just very smooth and plasticky. We also don't have a ton of paint applications. There are some silver parts for the zippers and the buckles, but overall just largely unpainted black plastic. Coming down to the boots though, there is a lot going on. There are buckles, there are straps, there are his laces, and it all comes together very nicely. But for those wondering what the other head sculpt looks like on the body, here we have it, and this is my favourite of the three. I think it works really nicely here. The skin tone is slightly darker than the neck and the arms, but if you're not in super harsh lighting like we are right now, it's not as obvious. But yeah, I think it's in proportion, it sits quite well, and the likeness is still really good. Do let me know which of the three you're liking best though down in the comments below. Now for a quick side-by-side comparison, here we have Hawkeye alongside the Marvel Legends integrated suit Spidey. Now I don't know how tall the respective actors are, but this kind of works for me. Spidey is probably a little bit too tall, he could be slightly shorter, but let's be honest, in the collection, when you have them posed, it's not going to be the biggest deal in the world. This could totally work. So yes, I am more than happy to mix the various lines, Figuarts, Mafex, and Marvel Legends, but I definitely know there are folks out there who absolutely will not do that. Next up, here we have the recently reviewed Figuarts Black Widow, and yeah, these two look great together, as you would expect. It's Clint, it's Nat, they're together. These, in my opinion, are figures that need to be displayed side by side. They have such a close bond, and it is emphasized more and more as the MCU goes on. So if you are picking up one, I reckon you should sit back and strongly think about picking up the other. Just going over articulation. Now bear in mind this is my personal copy of the figure, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful. I'm sure when you get yours in hand, you can push the joints slightly further than I'm willing to go. Now, starting off with the head sculpt, there's a ball joint at the base of the head and another at the base of the neck, going forward the full way, and the same thing can be said for back, swivel and pivot side to side. The arms will go up to there, they will go forward and back, shoulder has a butterfly joint, a single bend at the elbow that does go past 90, plus a swivel in there as well. You also have a hinge and swivel joint for the wrist peg. The torso has multiple joints, one at the midsection, then one at the waist, crunching forward to there, going back to there, swivel then pivot side to side. The legs go forward the full way, they go out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, a single bend at the knee that does go past 90, hinge and swivel for the ankle, plus, of course, some toe articulation. Just wrapping up on the S.H.Figuarts Hawkeye from Avengers 1. Now, this isn't my favourite look for Clint. In fact, it's my least favourite. I like Age of Ultron and Civil War far more, but that being said, Bandai has done a commendable job translating this suit into 1/12 scale. I also really like 2 out of 3 head sculpts. That one that has the weird expression, it just ain't it, but the sunglasses and the regular face are perfectly serviceable. I like the accessories, I like the fact that the bow and the arrow are combined into one. It makes for, let's just say, a little bit more headache-free posing. I also like the articulation, the paint applications are crisp, and for once, Bandai has given us a ton of texture on the outfit. Usually they don't for some reason, but here they have. He isn't perfect. I wouldn't have minded potentially a double bend at the elbows, as well as a little bit more paint, maybe some dirt and grime and some weathering here and there. But otherwise, yes, I do recommend him. Now, I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is, of course, down in the description below. They have 12-month installment plans and an awesome reward system. While you're down there, why not check out the link to 6 Scale Network, the Facebook group. Come along, chat figures, share photos of your collection, and of course, see what's coming up next on the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.